As an author, there are so many moving pieces. And so today I wanted to share my secret weapon when it comes to productivity and organization. That secret weapon is Notion. Hi, I'm Britt from Thriving Scribes, and I help self publishing fiction authors grow sustainable author careers. So, if you are an indie author publishing fiction work and want to make a living from your writing, definitely hit like and subscribe to this video. We're going to dive into one of my favorite tools ever in this video. So last year, I released a video sharing my top 5 favorite productivity tools. And one of the tools that I talked a lot about in that video was Notion. If you are completely unfamiliar with Notion, in its simplest form, it is a online digital tool that you can set up different pages and databases on in order to keep track of different pieces of information. You can compare it to tools like Google Docs, Scrivener, Microsoft Word, or even different project management tools like Trello, Asana, and the like. In fact, at times it can even completely replace those tools depending on how you're using them. And the very best part about Notion is that it's free. I've been using Notion in authorship and in business for about 2 years now, and it has quickly risen up in ranks and become my favorite digital tool ever. There's literally not a day at this point where I'm not inside of Notion at one point or another for something. And so today I'm going to share with you my favorite ways that I am using Notion as an author and how it helps me. Let's dive in. One of my favorite ways that I like to use Notion, and probably the way that I use it the most for authorship, but I'm using it day in and day out for this purpose, is for tracking my word count. So I usually write in writing sprints where I sit down, time myself, do my writing sprint, and then track how many words I was able to get. And I actually do that tracking now inside of Notion. So I have created a spreadsheet inside of Notion using their table feature where I can create new sprints, add how long I am going to be sprinting for, and then I can even open up that piece of that table. It opens up into a new sheet, and I actually do my sprint right there inside of Notion. And one of my favorite parts about that is when I am completely done, I can actually see inside of Notion how many words that was. So I don't have to go and try to track that down in an outside tool. I can see it right there. I can add it to my log, and then I can even filter my table by recent sprints in the past day, the past week, in the past month, or any other filter that I would want to set up. For instance, maybe I wanted to set up a filter to see how many words I've written per project, right? I could do that easily inside of Notion. If you'd like a free copy of this Notion Word Sprint Tracker template for yourself to give it a try, then go and visit the link that you see on your screen right now, and I will send you a copy right to your email. The second favorite way that I use Notion is to track my book development process. So, I don't know about you, but when I am starting a new project and I am taking it all the way through the and book development process, I have a same general workflow that I follow for every single product or project that I'm working on. And one of the very best things that I've done for myself inside of Notion is templatize this process so that whenever I'm starting a new project, I just create a copy of this template inside of Notion, and my entire workflow is right there waiting for me to assign dates, schedule certain things, and start tracking that process right here inside of Notion. This next one goes hand in hand with what I just mentioned because I kind of keep them all in the same place. But the third favorite thing that I do is hold my series or stories wiki inside of Notion as well. So if you don't know what that is, basically a story wiki is where you keep all of the different pieces of data that have to do with your specific writing project. So maybe this is things like character bios, or maybe it's your settings details. Everybody has a certain amount of like maybe world building that has to go on, and a story wiki is a really great way to keep track of all of that information so that next time you're sitting down to write about a specific character, you're not going, oh my gosh, did I have this character's eyes be brown or blue? You could just hop into your series wiki, look at all the data you put for that specific character, see what color her eyes were, and continue. Many people keep their series wikis in hard copies, so a binder, or other people might like to do it on an online tool. I've seen people do it on Trello. I've seen people do it inside of Scrivener. I've seen people do it in even inside of maybe a linked up Google Doc. But my favorite by far has been to set mine up in Notion where I'm already in and day out. And the best part of having my story wiki here in Notion is that Notion is completely searchable. So if I'm looking for a specific piece of information, I all I have to do is hit the little search bar inside of Notion, type in what I'm looking for, and it will pull up that record immediately. And I don't have to go digging through notes or digging through, wherever else I might have kept something, trying to find that piece of information. Notion makes it super simple to get that information so I can just continue on with my plotting or my writing sprint. So I set my story wikis up inside of Notion and have never looked back. Some of the information that I like to track inside of my story wikis is character profiles, setting descriptions, timelines, history timelines, specific dates of events that have taken place in my story. I even do my plotting inside of my series wiki inside of Notion. It makes it super simple to do that as well because everything can be linked together. So I do my plot arch planning there. I do when I'm plotting my serials, I plot my seasons and break them down by chapters and episodes and do the same for novels. And I even do my scene blocking. So basically, my entire creative process and the initial phases of planning, plotting, and then even sprinting all take place inside of Notion. My next favorite feature or way that I'm using Notion as an author is by using it as a promo tracker. Are you commonly setting up things like newsletter swaps, group promos, paid promotions, anything like that for your author brand? Me too. And it was becoming a little overwhelming to try and keep track with all of the information that goes into that. Who am I swapping with this week? What is the link that I need, right? Where are those graphics that I need for this specific promo? So, what I ended up doing was creating that can hold all of my information that I need for my promotions in the future. And I can even track the results that I got from that specific promo as well right here in the same place. So it makes it easy to gather the links, gather the dates that it's going on, and then I can even sort and filter so I know, okay, this week what am I promoting? Who am I swapping with this week? And it makes it easy to get all of that scheduled out in social media or in my email newsletter or whatever else is required of me. Finally, another one of my favorite things to do inside of Notion is to set up an author brand hub to hold all of my different brand assets. This is really a pretty passive page inside of my Notion, but it's one that I am hopping in and out of frequently when I'm creating things like marketing graphics, social media graphics, anything that I'm going to need brand colors. I need to remember the name of my fonts or to reference those specific branding touches for that specific pen name. So what I've done is create a page with for each pen name with the brand assets right there inside. It's got my hex codes in there. It's got all of those pieces of information or data that I'm going to need in order to quickly create that marketing asset for myself. And I don't have to go searching for what was a hex code of my main brand color or anything like that. I can just hop right in here, grab it easily, and go and create that thing. This is all just a fraction of the ways that I use Notion and authorship. And I've taken all of these templates and more and bundled them together into a magical Notion template pack for authors that I call the Digital Authorpreneur Homebase. If you'd like to get your hands on this for only $47, then definitely go and click the link that you see right here on your screen. These templates are super easy to copy into your own Notion account, and it is really going to help you simplify and organize the heck out of your author business and simplify the processes that you are doing in authorship day in and day out. I'll make sure that I've got the link in the description of this video as well if you want to go and check it out. Up for more productivity tips for authors? Definitely go and watch the video that you see on your screen right now because inside of that video, I'm going to share my very best tips for maximizing your productivity as an author. Be sure to check out tip number 4 because it's a really good one. See you there.